Hey everybody, I'm trying this on my computer, so for the first time, it's going to be a little wonky since I'm having troubles uploading my videos filmed through my phone, so maybe doing it this way, um, it'll work. But I'm still going to try to keep this short and sweet. Uh, Thank you all for tuning in yesterday to my first video back on the channel again of the Solar System Materia album commentary. I plan on trying to do a video a day where I highlight a certain album from my own solo projects, bands I've been in, and et cetera, et cetera. And today's record I want to highlight is 2005's "Invent Yourself" by Chris Oliver and Zachary Biggs. Um, a little brief backstory about how me and Zach got to how we met and we started making music. We met on a John Frusciante forum on the internet back in late 2002 or early 2003. Zach, maybe you'll make a video or leave a comment below clarifying if that's the true date or not. My brain is fried. So around that time, we started talking because we're both big fans of John Frusciante and his music, and we found out that we were both musicians. And he had sent me a cassette of his guitar instrumental pieces, and thought they were great. And I can't remember who suggested it, but one of us said, "Well, why don't we try making music together by sending our 4-track tapes back and forth to each other in the mail?" As he lives in Leander, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and I live now in East Point, Michigan, which is a couple miles north of Detroit. So yeah, Michigan and Texas. So we'd send our 4-track tapes back and forth through the mail, and we would add our parts to each other's 4-track recordings, and that's how we made music together up until about 2010. Excuse me. Uh, our 2005 release is our second release, our first two being the Dust and Guitars album and the Satori EP, which both came out in, I think, 2004. Maybe Satori was early 2005 as well. Um, the album is 20 plus songs long, so I'm not going to talk about each song, but I'm going to highlight a few in this brief video. And yeah, the first song I want to talk about is "The Dream of Love Between Us." It's a song that I wrote and I sent it off to Zach, feeling that this was like the catchiest song I'd written up to that point in my life. It actually had a chorus and good melody, good vocal melodies, good chord structures. Sent it to Zach and he added his magic to it, which was some additional drums and vocal stuff. And it's one of many's favorite songs off the album. That's why I wanted to talk about that one since it's a fan favorite. Something Real Part 2 is another song I want to highlight. Oh, I should mention that the first half of the album is all songs with vocals, and then the second half is all instrumental pieces. And these couple songs I'm going to talk about first are from the um, songs, normal songs with vocals section of the album, the first half of the album. Something Unreal Part 1 is a song of mine that I sent off to Zach, and I believe the only thing he adds to the song is this really cool like vocal loop, which he um, randomly manipulates and changes effects throughout the song. I feel that that effect alone took the song from being an okay song to being a very good song and one of the strongest songs on the album. So I think that's just a highlight to showcase that like what either one of us can do to a pretty cool song and then make it into something really special when we add our parts to each other's songs. The last song I want to talk about in the vocals first half of the album is "Virtuous Man," which is a song written by Zach. And this song, for me, it kind of sets the tone of like what our music sonically would continue to be like from that point on. And what I mean is, it's very dense, even though it's all done on a 4-track. And we were, to kind of get technical about it, let's say Zach sends me a tape. Tracks 1 and 2 would be what were on that cassette, and which would leave me tracks 3 and 4 to add my own parts. And if I wanted to get really ambitious with it, I would bounce everything onto, I would record everything onto a tape, then take that tape, which has the previous two tracks of Zach's, and then my two tracks I had at the top of his, they would be on tracks 1 and 2 now, and it would leave me tracks 3 and 4 again to overdub, and I could, process could go on, so on and so on. So sometimes we could get really, really intricate with these songs and not lose too much fidelity at the time. We didn't go too crazy, but this one, each section of the song, it seems like after every other line, sonically it kind of shifts and stylistically it shifts. And my overdubs are they counteract with each vocal line. So Zach will say something, and then my overdub will mirror what he just sang, what kind of spoke. It's the vocals are slowed down, kind of sung, spoken, speak, sing, I guess you could say. And I just think that song highlights the sonic direction that we were to take from that day forward, and we continue to do with the new music we made this year. Um, Now moving into the second half of the album, the instrumental half, um, is the title track itself called "Invent Yourself," and this one's it feels pretentious to it's so hard to describe what this music sounds like. It's unlike anything else. But I guess the best way I can say it is lo-fi, avant-garde, psychedelic classical music. Um, the song starts off with this beautiful piano melody that Zach came up with. Zach came up with the majority of the music of this song, which is in many different sections, and I just added overdubs throughout the whole long 9-minute-ish piece. It starts off with a beautiful piano melody, and Zach and myself repeating the name of the title, Event Yourself. I can't speak here today. Ran through various effects, slowed down, backwards, and that leads you into this psychedelic extravaganza of just lo-fi weirdness. There's timpanis, there's strings, there's backwards pianos, there's 808 drums, there's guitars, there's just weird noises, and it's just this really long, intricate piece that we kind of never really replicated. Something kind of that ambitious, especially for now that we both record digitally, we can put endless tracks on our songs, and just the way that we made such dense 4-track recordings, I stand by that. Me and Zach's 4-track recordings are some of the most dense, layered, textural 4-track recordings I've ever heard. Yes, there are albums that push the limits of 4 tracks, like John Frusciante, the guy that kind of brought us together because we met on that forum. His first album is a 4-track masterpiece, and it's mainly just guitar and voice with very little effects, besides natural 4-track effects like reverse, pitch shifting, that stuff like that. And yes, there are very much layered 4-track recordings out there by plenty of bands like Olivier Tremor Control and many others. But for what we were doing, especially at that time, we felt like we were making music like no one else on the planet because we were in our own little bubble. And I just remember that time being a very, very fun time in my life. Just working on music. I had my first little apartment in a basement apartment of an elderly couple's home, and my apartment was pretty much like living in your grandparents' basement. Plastic on the furniture, old people wallpaper on the walls. So it was very strange to be living in this basement, making this weird music with essentially what could be my grandparents living upstairs, and I'm making this crazy trippy music with my friend via long distance postal service recordings. So yeah, and the reason why I highlighted this album is because, like how I highlighted Materia, the Solar System album, in my previous video, was I feel this is a benchmark, a landmark album for the two of us, as it cemented our sound and where we would continue to go sonically and stylistically, for better or for worse, from this moment on. And if anybody's listened to any of the records made after Invent Yourself, you definitely hear that. And I'll be leaving the link for the album below. The original 2005 unmastered mix is available on Bandcamp, which is Chris Oliver and Zachary Biggs at bandcamp.com, or Chris Oliver and Zachary Biggs.bandcamp.com, get it right. And that is the unmastered version that we released. So it's pretty much how you would have heard it on if I was to send you a cassette of it back in 2005. Um, Recently, Zach has been remastering all our old 4-track records to the best of his abilities, and Event Yourself is up on our Spotify page, which I will also leave the link. So if you want to hear the 2020 remastered version with very, very highly improved fidelity, very much fuller sounding, and you can definitely more so appreciate all the intense work that we put into these 4-track recordings, and hear the parts more clearly and more fully. So yeah, I want to keep this short and sweet. So hopefully YouTube will actually let me upload this, and I'm probably going to continue to do this on the computer because I like this angle a lot better than sitting behind the glary drum set, even though I'm still behind the glary window behind me. But yeah, I hope that you check out the album if this video piqued your interest. And I'm just having fun kind of reliving these albums. I can't believe this album is 15 years old. It definitely doesn't feel 15 years old to me. Time's just funny that way, you know. And yeah, hopefully the little insights that I provide will pique your interest and make you want to check out this music because I love this music. I love music in general. If I had it my way, I would stay home every single day and make music every day, like I have been. Um, Despite the craziness that's going on in the world with the coronavirus, I'm using my time wisely by recording a song every single day. Tonight will be song number 28, where I write and record a song on the spot. And I've already got over an album's worth of material, and some of which will be on upcoming Chris Oliver and Zachary Biggs albums, which we've already made 4 brand new albums earlier this year. So we are working on the 5th and possibly the 6th release of this year right now with all the songs that I submitted to Zach a little while ago. So yeah, again, thank you all for watching. I will hopefully be back tomorrow highlighting another album from my over 50 plus releases. And I hope you guys dig the series. And thank you all so much for watching. See you later.